Hello my friends, how you doing? Let's keep going further. What we've been doing so far. Let's look at it. So I introduced element buttons, which we can see here. They will be specialized only in menu because I want them be appearing and disappearing on certain events. So I was doing the system for it. Let's look at the buttons. I call them menu buttons. They do have again index ts. It's like I'm collecting their files together and applying them into the general environment. So we have we have types in it, and I'll be cleaning them while I explaining. So in types they have one type. It's menu props, menu button props, properties. They including button key. Each that's what it is. It is the purpose of the button. So it is login, it is logout, it is register, and so on and so on. It has inside of it a show boolean, which generally displaying not demanding, not displaying, defining. It's demanding either button is shown at the time or not. It has path, which will query the database. It has text, like text on the button. Oops, sorry. Text on the button, like register here or login here. It is clicked. It shows if the button is clicked at the time or not. So I don't know why I needed it right now, but I want to know if the button was clicked or not on the last iteration. I think it will be quite needed later on. And we have function which is callback function. It's what happens on click. We go to the on the click of the button we do something like showing login form, and in the same time we are sending echo back, like sending message back to the menu that we clicked this button. So that is callback function here. So CSS I will not show right now. So menu button is simple. As you can see, we import types because we need to use them. And we import here module CSS because we need it. Well, let me show module CSS, what we're doing with this. Not too much. I was experimenting here with the colors. I couldn't find good colors for buttons menu yet, so I left it right now this brightish blue color. So for right now, we don't need active button condition because it just generally when it is clicked, it will be disappearing like this. So we don't need active condition here, so we can delete it. Now on the hover it's getting brighter, and sometimes we using by the way, I need to let me do it very fast. Control C, we go to where is it? Where is that? Index CSS. Do we have primary menu checkbox red wine color? Okay, we don't. So let's do like this. A menu button color, menu button hover color. It's a little bit longish names for them, but that's fine. That's okay. That's I wanted to do these names anyway. They're similar to what I wanted to do. Let's go back to menu. Where is that? CSS. We're going to use variables. Let's copy them here. Let's copy that color here. We're going to use var here. What you don't like here too. Now we can delete that. Okay, so now let's see what's happening here. The good colors. Let's F12. Let's reload it. Let's pull it up. Let's lock it. Let's click it. Okay, it's all good. It's all working. The buttons are working. Okay, so now let's go further. So background color, so as always I display them grid. So display them grid. Because I showed display grid, I set display grid. Now I can tell them so they can align center. And if we say start, they will be jumping. Well, they're not jumping right now. How about not right now? Why? Okay. No, I didn't get it. Boom. Why they don't jump into the start? Well, let's leave it center. Well, let's do end. Let's see if that changes something. Right now they don't have enough place because there's, if we inspect it, that there is no, I don't see any padding here. I didn't care about paddings. Okay, there is no margins, no paddings. Okay, that's fine, but they stay in the center in any case. Wow. How about no padding inside of the button? I do care. A margin, I did give margin 5 pixels. Actually, I don't want pixels, I want rem. One rem. And one rem at my system works as 10 pixels. Rem. We don't want you to use pixels because it's not scalable. 0.5 rem. Okay, oh my goodness. Well, the small amount like this, which is smaller than 0.5, we don't want to use RAM. We just, well, we can use RAM, but we don't want to. How can I explain? Every small things we can use pixels because it doesn't affect too much. But we also can use RAM too, because I have very exact numbers here. I don't need to guess. So that's 4 pixels here. 0.4 RAM is 4 pixels for me. Because why? Because at the start of index CSS, I set the font size to be 62.5, and it's exactly because default font size is 1.6 RAM, so I scale it down to 1 RAM here exactly. And so this dictates me, whole my program, the scalability of the fonts and sizes of all objects. So if I go to mobile here, it doesn't fall apart. So I can change the sizes, I can do everything this, like different, and it will be scaling, not falling apart. Okay. So that's quite important because I saw many programs and I was rebuilding them because programmers forgetting about these things, and but users have different mobile devices, they have different screen sizes, and the program, if it goes beyond some sizes or font sizes, it starts to fall apart. So many times I saw these situations, and many times it's huge work because there's lots of you need to, for each element you need to have your own CSS, and we have in a written program we have many elements of the program, and so they all depend on this CSS stuff. So what else? Padding, I do margin, background color, I don't want border. I want border radius 4 pixels. We can do 5 pixels if we want to, but it's okay. We can do them round if we want to. It's also okay. Color is the same. Color is for the letters, and we do transition for background color. Okay, so let's go further. Let's go to T6. By the way, that's T6 is TypeScript with elements of nodes of DOM. So it's not confusing. Okay, so what next? We have menu button, and I call it menu button because they will be these buttons will be dedicated to the menu, because as I explained earlier, I want them disappear, appear, and that's what these parameters are about. Okay, I had 2 errors here because right now I don't use path, which I will be using, and I don't use click it. I don't use click it here. Yeah, I don't use click it because I don't know what I need it for yet, but I guess I will need it in the future. So in order don't have these errors, annoying errors, I just console them. I just remember that I have a pass and I have clicked condition state, not condition state. Okay, so now we return DOM element button, which has key parameter, on click parameter, it's callback function, class name. to style it, and text to show the text on it. So that's pretty much menu buttons, which are working as supposed to be, except, by the way, types ts, no, module css, yeah, I didn't return this back. Actually, center. Okay. So menu buttons, and that's, by the way, I often, when I was starting programming, I often how to say it, met situation when you do some experiment and then you forgot that you did it. And then you're wondering, oh wow, what is going on with my code? And then you come back to the code and you see that you actually experimenting with the code and you just forgot to remove one line. I mean, not remove, but move it back to old condition. So it's also quite a trap here. Okay, so let's go further. Side menu. Okay, side menu we discussed already. Register form, we'll come back to it. Login form, we'll come back to it. Menu, yeah, of course. Header, canvas, okay. So menu, I changed some things in the menu. First of all, did I leave it? ft6, yeah. Well, did I? I had here, what did I have here? I forgot. Side menu, okay. Yeah, I had here, you see, use state. I had here initial buttons, which I wanted to be in the top level. On the top level, I had it. So I had here initial buttons and buttons types. And if we look at up, we initialized here initial buttons and then set them up. And at the very top of the program. But then I realized that I don't want to do this. I want to, first of all, I want to keep this top program as clean as I can. So don't want to put much stuff here, just like top level stuff like footer, header, where's the header? Header, side menu, like top level only. But that doesn't belong here. So I moved them into the menu. And here I initialized my where this initial buttons. Here you go, set buttons. If we looked up, it's here. So we had this lock button condition, but now we have three states here and three so now we have buttons, set buttons. So these ones, let me get off mobile thing. So we have buttons, set buttons, that is a function, that is a state. We're setting up initial buttons and what they are. We go to initial buttons menu config. I don't want to put it in the types. We have login, register, profile, settings, and logout. On initial entrance, we want to show only two buttons. It's login right here, it's show, and register. It's also show true. Other ones show false. If we right now make profile true, let's see what happens. Let's say we want to see profile true. Let's see if we can see it. Let's reload it. We should see it. Yep. Sometimes I was like, I'm scared. So now we can see profile. So the initial state works pretty well. We can show all of them. Let's set it to true and to true to make sure they're working. All of them working. Now we can see all the buttons. Okay, but I want why, like on logout, we don't want to see this button login and logout in the same state. Okay, and settings and profile either. If the person is not login, what profile are you going to see? Okay, so we're going to make it false. Let's see. So I don't use spare spaces. False. And here also false. We don't want to see it on initial state. Except, of course, later on when we will implement, where is that? Application, local storage. I'm going to, on login, I'm going to push, push user. Like it's, I'm suddenly forgetting the words. Push user into local storage and get it from the local storage on the initial entrance. And so later on, when I'll be doing it, I will be checking in menu if we have this user from the local storage or session storage, better session storage. I mean session storage, of course. And if something, this initial state will be overloaded with a different state, and so will be seen, instead of login register, will be seen logout and settings, profile, and so on. Okay, so also we have, let me see, it's right, it's working right now. We're going to use two more states, which is show login and show register, which will be, I'll show you in a second. So show login and show register we were talking about. For you it's a moment, for me it's 5 minutes. I said the what's the name of it? Teapot for the tea. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use also React use state. Initial state false right here. And on the load of the page also we I mean, it's not initial, it's a default state. Default state is false. And initial state we're going to set to false too. We don't want to open the page and see register or log in the form, okay? Well, sometimes we want to do this, but not right now case, okay? Maybe later I will. If I do like this, let's experiment with this. I'll set it to true. So on the load, we should see login form. Yep, here we go. That's login form. It's came, or if we put it in, what interesting, what if we set to true this either? what happens? Who will overplay? I think I will see on the top set show register true. I mean register form on the top. Let's see who wins this race. Yep, register form we see. So let's set up them to false. We don't want to do this. Initial state is false. And only when we call them, the state will be changed to the register and login forms. Okay. So now how can I explain next scrutiny of ears? Let me think what to start with. Okay, so we have here for every button. So we already saw on mouse center, on mouse sleeve. It's when we go for that side menu and out. So that's, we know already this. We know that menu word, checkbox we had already discussed. So now what is that? Tell you what is that. We have buttons. Where they come from? Here they are. So there are initial buttons right here. That's a function which setting them up, set button. And so we have buttons from which comes from the config from here. That's the list of buttons. We can add more buttons to it. We can remove some buttons to it. But initial buttons will be right now always these 5 buttons. We going to, where is it? We're going to rotate through them. So we're going to check entries, get from this entries key and object button. And here I'm printing them out. Key and button, if you look it up, console, key and button, we have login key and object which is clicked, path, show, text. So that's our one object, and we have 5 of them. Every object has its own properties, keys and values pair. And then what we want to do with them? No, first of all, we're going to print them out, of course, to see what we're getting. Then we're going to ask, do we have show to true? Is it show set to true? If it's not set to true, no, first of all, we want to know if it does have show. I mean, if it is button, then if it does have, my goodness, if it does have show set to true. If not set to true, then we're going to return no. If not, if we pass that statement, we're going to return that menu button component, which has several properties. It has key, which comes from the key of entries. It has spread of button properties, which is this one's clicked path show text, and it has also callback function, which jumps on a click, jumps into handle button click function. That is why it calls callback function, because it initializes callback function, which has in property key of buttons type. What is the buttons type? We go to types, and we have here buttons type. We have several buttons: login, register, profile, settings, logout. It's also, if we add some extra buttons, we need to add here too something. And I know some project leads want it will be much simpler in terms of, if we have menu config here, it drops for each button, it drops into types the the properties of this button, the button and its button, so it's automatic. So it's kind of will be like I'm rotating through buttons. Here, well, I'm talking about JavaScript, not TypeScript. TypeScript is bad idea. Okay, I'm talking about JavaScript. Here it would be bad idea, okay? But actually, that's what I did for the buttons. My empty head. That's what I actually did. So some managers, leads want that we have config, general config, which managers can adjust, not programmer, and it reflects here. And actually, that I need to implement it. Actually, I need to implement it. But I will be let's let's to do this. To do. How can I describe it? Managers should be able to manage this file from the text file. So we can, so they can add, delete, adjust buttons. Okay, we'll do it in future version. Please support me. Nobody support me. I'm going to cry. Okay. I'm going to cry, not on the, not right now. I'll be crying later on. So that's what we want to do. That we actually pull text file here, and this file reads this text file and adds buttons like from the text file. That's what the good management of the file is. The question is, do we want to change buttons so manager can adjust them or not adjust them? That's the question. But I think on login, like we want to add some plugins here, like person login, and he has or she has their own plugins. So that's all thought behind it. Okay, so let's go back to menu T6 and let's talk about that handle button click function. Handle button click, it has switch statement. And here I'm thinking right now about this situation. It must load cases from the right now because they are, how can I say it, they are hard typed. It's not good. We are good for hard typing with the general buttons, but if we want to change buttons here, then we want to read them from already from the menu config from here. So that's also to do. Uh-oh. Oh, what the heck? Yeah. Yeah. To do? What to do? Read cases of the switch. Switch ch from the config file. From the config file. That would be fair square. Because right now it's hard typed and it's not good. It must not be hard typed. Okay, so but right now it's hard typed. I need to push my project forward so I can set it on the server. But for this I need to have at least login register and logout functions working. So basic types working, so I can check them on the server. So we have case login, case register, case profile, case settings, case logout, and default case when we're saying, oh my god, it's kind of unknown button key. We don't know that, what is that? So what, and throw the error, which I'll be catching with some plugin for the error. So what they do, cases, login, register, right now implemented. Each case going to set buttons state and going to set show register or set show login state. Set show register. Set show register, where are you? Set show register. I love you. Okay. Well, where's it's right here. Set show login, set show register. They're going to set buttons in the true state or false state. On the click login, we're going to set it to true. on register, we're going to set show register to true. Okay, and that will be spawning. We're going down here. That will be spawning register form here, or will be or other one will be spawning show login form. Okay. The one thing, and right now I don't see any benefits from it, because I wanted login form will be focused and register form will be focused on their own stuff, but they quite similar to each other. So I did right now not in terms of pure coding. Well, pure coding says if you have three or more repeats, then you have to compact it into one function. But right now, some people say don't follow pure coding idea because it complicates the code too much. So my general approach to it, sometimes I follow, and when I see that I have to follow it, I follow it. But right now I don't see any benefits for me to combine login form and register form into one form. It just complicates my code because I have states here, different states here on exit, and different states on entrance to also, and I want they will be focused on their own stuff. So I don't want right now to combine them, but some people do. So you can tell me that I'm bad guy for not doing it. Okay. So login form it spawns, so register forms it spawns, but we're not done yet with the handle button clicks function. So it has a key button, we discussed it already, which define the case, but also we have here set button, update buttons function statement, and here it is here. It has not arrow, array. It has array of buttons, of objects buttons, which has key, and it has config. What is the config? What I want to rewrite in the initial config object. Like if we look at the types, not types, menu config, we have here like show true and clicked false. Well, sometimes we want to change them. We don't want to change path pretty much, and we don't want to change text pretty much. We can, but it would be too much. I mean, why we change login to login clicked, but it's not shown when it's clicked. This button login, it's not shown when it's clicked. So changing the text, it's like pure childish thing. So we want to change some parameters, and they are clicked and they are shown. Because for the show we define if the button shown on the menu or not. So we are doing update button statement function, and what it does, it's generally takes previous button states. It takes as a parameter configs which we want to change, and they are here. We want to change, for instance, we want key login, and we want on case login when we click login button, we want to change clicked statement, or state, not statement, state, to true, and want to change the show state to false. And so when we clicked on login, it will be show false, and so it disappears. Okay. And now the same with the button register, but it's not been clicked, so it's show false, but we don't want to touch clicked state parameter. But here when it's register clicked, we want to click to set it to true. But on login, we don't want to set it to true because it wasn't clicked. So that's config, and that's buttons type of array buttons config. And what is a buttons config? We go to types, buttons config. Okay, I forgot to move it. Buttons config, it's here. It has keys and it has config, which is partial. Not there's some config parameters can be there, or some config parameters cannot be there. I mean, can be not there. That's better said. Okay, it is buttons type, which is types, buttons types here, buttons types. Okay, do I need to also, yeah, to do. Also read it from the text file. That's except this one. Okay, so let's it has partial buttons key, buttons type, and it has key of buttons type. So that means config has keys show path text clicked of this buttons type, and it is array here. So let me very quick move this to types. Let's go down here to types, buttons config, export this from the file. Let's copy this, types, minu-tx, types, they're here. Let's copy it from here, and now I can cross out this one, buttons config. Yep, it works pretty much. Let's check it. Login, close, works. Okay, I was check because you never know. You never know. Okay, so that's what it does. So it's working generally with the buttons of menu. Now let's go through very fast through where's it? Login form and register form. Okay, they are pretty much similar, so I will walk through the register form only. Let's look at the register form. It also has 4 files. Index.ts, it answers for their exporting the whole register form files bundled together. Now we're going to types. Do I have type? Yeah, I have types. I have class name. Generally, what I want to do with this class name, I don't want to dictate I don't want to dictate on default what or hard typed what node I want this form be attached to. So right now, if we look at the elements, class, well, it's not attached. We need to click, and it's going to be attached to the, where is it? Here it is. You see its login form. Right now it's attached to the root node, and if we look it up in the menu T6, I'm saying to it, I want you, class name, I want you to be attached to the root. And same for the register form, I want to be attached to the root. So I want to dictate it from what node it will be attached, not by default, like hard coding in the oh my goodness in the register form or login form. I want to dictate it from the outside, and same with the node type. I want to dictate which type of node it will be attached to. Like, is it ID type or is it class type? So right now, because root is it has ID, I'm telling please attach it to be attached to the ID. Okay, so that's two parameters tells us to which node we're going to attach this register form component. So if we go to register form, where it happens, so that's props, right? And we have props CL name, and we have props, where's that? Node type, CL name, node type. I'm consoling here. I don't need it. I don't need it anymore. So once we form this node, we're telling the program, the component, okay, let's go to document. Let's go to this document, this one document. Let's first of all find me a body of this document, and that's looking for the body. Then I go telling him, if you found the body, go to inside of this body and find me please node type, which is ID in our case, and this class name, which is root right now. So it's looking for the root with ID as HTML element. Generally saying, please make this node attached to this element and return it to the outside program. Okay, so we are using, because okay, let me explain this. Create portal. Why do we need portal here? We need portal because we are talking to the element which is form, which is sitting outside of menu, like far away from menu. So in React, that calls create portal, it's like an RPG game. Imagine you creating portal like Diablo game. You creating portal and you moving all your collected stuff into your stash. That happens the same here. I'm creating portal. I'm getting my loot, and I am posting this loot into my stash, which is menu right now. So what they would do here, again, I'm using simple nodes, and that structure is pretty flat here. If we look at the, I have login form. Let's look at the register form. I have pretty much flat node structure here. And that's it, only 2 levels into it. Because when you're working with the flex, or even worse, when you're looking with the old kind of not absolute positioning, but flex or relative positioning, you will have like lots of like very big ladders of inside structure here. Right now I have pretty much flat structure. Well, I have two. It's first of all, it's register form title, which I need to say to the person that he or she wants to register. And here it is where do I format it? It's H2 here, register form. I posted button here, close button, that one button, close. And what it does have, that has on close event, which is our on click event, which is, if we look at the menu T6 register form, and we're going to see on close event here. What the on close event does, first of all, it sets show register to false, so we will not see register form anymore. Like when we click on this button, we don't want to see that form anymore. Then we're going to set our buttons. I'm not using here, let me explain. I'm not using handle button click function here because here we have lots of different situations which does not relate to this handle button click. It has its own logic. Like, okay, we closing buttons, pretty standard situation, but what if we click register? Then it's a different situation when we need to close register form. Okay, and there will be more situation when we need to close register form. Let me think about it. So when the person, for instance, try couple of 5 times, it's tried to register, and we say to him, oh, you cannot do so many times registering in so short time. So we going to hide this register button, for instance. We maybe want to go to the login form from register form because maybe the person got mistaken and clicked on register instead of login, so he goes back to login form. So we want to hide this form. So there is lots of situations when we want to hide this register form. And if I be using this handle function each time, there will be long cases here. Long cases, and which does not relate to our config menu. Because right now I would having a condition when I say close register, but there is no close register button. It cannot be. So that's why I'm not using this function anymore in this situation. Not anymore in these situations. On the response from the register form, I use custom conditions. So I'm telling it on register form. I'm telling please close register form, don't show it, and please show me register button, and set its state of click to the false, back to the false, and show me also login button and set this show to true. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on the close button. Let's go back to register form. And here we have standard form, standard HTML form, but on submit I don't want it behaves by its default. I don't want it happens because it's moving somewhere. I don't want it moves. It's generally if we hide it and we click register, for instance, it start moving to the URL which I don't want. It moves to this URL. I need to let's go do that with the actual login. It will be much easier. Login, where's that? Login form. Yeah, okay, login form. I want to close prevent default here, close this, open that, and so if I do this one, for instance, and I do this one, for instance, and we click on login right now, because I don't prevent default behavior of the form, it will start moving to the some URL which I don't want it moves to. So submit, username, all of this, password, and blah blah blah. I want my own URL. I don't want it will be, or maybe I will later on. I don't know yet. Okay, but right now I prevented it. So if we say prevent, we go to back to login, and we're doing this here, and we're doing this here, and now because ePrevent default right now works, if we click on login, it will do nothing, and that's what I wanted to do right now. But still, it has submit an URL, but it doesn't do anything I don't want it does. Okay, so now we have label, which is user register. I want to register. It has label, which is username, and his username. Because these forms are specialized, I can generally here like hard code the names here. Otherwise, I would need to pass parameters here and call this variables from the parameters. But right now, because it's focused, I can hard code here. So it's username. Input will be here for username. Password, which is password. Label, input for the password. And then we're going to have confirm password, because normally so the person does not mix up the passwords, and then the person goes like, oh my goodness, what password did I have? I need, the person will be sure that the user, that password that they want to use password. Okay. So input for the confirmation password and button for submit. And button for submit. And then, as I explained, we attach this element to the needed node and type of node. Let's look very fast into the CSS. CSS is always big. It's always lots of stuff going to be happen here. Why do I use FFF? I don't know. I use var. Which name? What is the name? Oh, wait. Does it show to me? No. Why no, I need white color index CSS. Primary white color. Control C. Where's that? Register form. CSS. Okay, primary color. Let's remove that. Okay, that's good. Any colors? Any colors? Any colors? Any colors? Primary color. White color. Okay, that's all good. I will need to CCC. What color is that CCC? Okay, no, okay, fine. I will do it in my one. Register form, absolute positioning, because we want it will be in the center, so top 50%, left 50%. Where is that? Because if we only do this, it will not be in the center. Then we need to translate it, -50% so it will be exactly in the center. We're going to give it its width to 20%, so 20%, and we don't want it will be going down some sizes. Minimum size for the width is going to be 300 pixels, and maximum height will be 400 pixels. Background color padding inside 5 pixels. My goodness, terrible. RAM. Why I always forget about it. 0.5 RAM. Oh my goodness. RAM. 0.8 RAM. Border radius, let's see. Okay, it's all good. Box shadow we do just to make it a little bit prettier. Border we have solid wine color, pretty much this color. I mean not green but wine color. Display grid. So inside we will be using grid system again. We're going to have only six columns and only 9 rows. Sometimes we're using min-max here. Min-max, like saying to the program, okay, make this size minimum like 2 RAM. 2 RAM. which when we go down here, it's kind of supposed to go in minimum to 200 pixels, I mean 20 pixels, but doesn't work because whole structure is solid right now. The whole thing doesn't go less than minimum width here, minimum 300 pixels and 400 pixels, so it doesn't let the register form to collapse. Okay, so then we don't need it. Where is that min max? We don't need it, and we only leave it 1FR. 1FR means stay consistent. That's what it means. That index we're going to be 3, because if for instance, what if we make it minus 1000? We'll see it. Yes, we'll see it, because, but if we move it, let's move it to the left. Let's say it's 0%. You see right now it's hiding behind that menu. We don't want that. So that's why we going higher than menu, which is 3. Which is, if we click right now, it will be on the top of menu, because menu is a 2. This is the 1, and this is the one that index. And general HTML doesn't have index right now, set up by me. Okay, so let's return that 50% here. Okay, so that's it for the, we have closed button, we close button, which is in the column 6 and in the row 1. So we hard set up it in the corner, left top corner. Justify cell end and start. That's, it will be in the very defined place for it. Background transparent, border none. It's all understandable. Cursor pointer and so on. That is H2. That's its header, title, not header, title, register form, which is this one. Pretty much it's what here, it's column 1, span 6. So it's it's from the start to the end, but we could say 1 minus 1. It would be easier. 1 minus 1. Oh, it is pretty much the same. It's just much better. Oh, user select none. We don't want to select any. Yeah, that's much better, but we can select here. User select none. So we can select it, we only can click it. Can select, only click. Okay, now, and of course we can now can select here. That's good, but oh my goodness, wait a second. No. Okay, let me think. Okay, the form by itself, because this main frame is divided by 2. If we look in the grid system for that register, that the grid system for register form, strange. If we look at the register, it has two parts. It's a header, I mean 3 parts, button, and the actual register form. So in reality it has 2 parts, which is line row 1, it has register and close button, and the rest of rows, which we have here, 9 rows we have, the rest of occupied by the form. And the form by itself has 8 rows. 8 rows. It's like a table generally. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, and each row is occupied by its element here, except the last one. I want some space at the bottom. So we say to the form, please has 6 rows, I mean 6 columns and 8 rows. You will be occupying all width of the frame, of the main frame, and you're going to from second row to the end of the main frame, span 8. We can actually do, actually it's not occupying the all of it. Let's first all do this, and let's make it -1, -1, and let's see what happens. Nothing happens, so I was actually right. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so nothing changed, so span 8 is good, but we can leave it -1 as either. Let me reload actually. Let me look it up, register form, nothing changed. Here, let's look at root, register form. We want to see the grid of this thing here. Okay. We want specifically of this form width, a minimum width 100%. I don't want it collapsed on itself by the width. We want align it to the center and justify it to the center too. We want a gap, which is this greenish ones right now here, of equals to 1 rem, which is 10 pixels. So that's gap here and here and here is exactly 10 pixels. Amazing. Really? It's 10 pixels? Okay. So we don't need that. I was experimenting here. Then we need to have username. Then all components, they pretty much occupying like grid row 1, grid row 2, grid row 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last row is not occupied. What we want, all of these elements go from, we want them different, like different, being staying in different places by the width of it. Then we want all of them border. What is anything important here? Not really. Just button here. We want it on hover. We want to change its color, but it's pretty much simple. Nothing bad about it. Nothing difficult about it. Well, nothing difficult about nothing difficult, but it's kind of sometimes can get messy if you are not careful. Okay. That's pretty much so far. So it. And I'll see you guys next time. Maybe subscribe? How about challenge to click that button, subscribe? Okay, I'll see you later. Have a good day.